conviction, rather. But the panel, however, reduced Faisal's jail term to from 14 to 7 years. So that's where we are. This Mena case, the saga is still going on. But when you look at the sheer scale of what was done, you tend to wonder, has justice really been served?
Exactly. I am. For me, I don't even think somebody who jumped bail or somebody who's on the run should be given that benefit of any kind of trial, so to speak. Come and face your judgment first. I mean, your trial first. But then I think they have one more leg to go. I'm sure that this case will end up in the Supreme Court.
In the Supreme Court. And that will be a whole other ball game. But it's been years and years and years of escaping judgment, absconding, bail jumping, and every single trick in the book has been used in this particular case.
And Stanley, how many times have you heard that somebody gets punished for letting somebody escape in his custody? I mean, somebody high up there. Because sometimes you see that these things are just not just negligence, but conspiracy to allow a suspect to walk off. We remember the very prominent case about 10 or 15 years ago, there about a suspect in the force headquarters, a high-ranking police officer that was detained. He said he wanted to go and pray, and he simply vanished. And up to date.
Up till date. There's been
nothing.
And it's a question of consequences, I think, because we honestly cannot build a country that is strong, that this country that we desire so much. We cannot build that if we do not introduce consequences for people who have actually wronged the state. And I think it leads me back to the actions that were taken, the pardons that were granted by President Muhammadu Buhari. And it's a common thing. Even when the police arrest someone who seems to be guilty, there is always someone who's coming out. It may be a pastor or an imam or a close family friend, someone who will come out to say, please, have mercy. We do this every single time. In the previous generations of Nigerians would say, you shouldn't have gotten mixed up with this. Go and face the music. Current generation of Nigerians, who do we know who can go and beg this man? So how does that feed into our culture of a lack of consequence, and how it's eroding the moral fabric of our society?
Well, I think, Stanley, it's something that we really need to keep talking about all the time. A lot of people who condemn stuff like that, when it happens to them, they suddenly become a fan of such things. You see, people say, is it because it's even from my our tribe? 2 years ago, somebody from the other tribe did this stuff. What happened to him? Now that is our turn. Now people sponsor people to carry placards, people to make, and the social media is a lot of media blitz. A lot of people, and people are not addressing the system, the question, why did you do this? You shouldn't have done this in the first place. They try to explain it off. Maybe he was tempted. Maybe this and that. At the end of the day, let's just pardon him.
The funniest one I heard is the amount he stole is nothing compared to what others
he has a wife and kids who are depending on him. He's our most prominent son. If he's taken away, who is going to take care of the society? Who's going to represent us?
Even Hush Puppy has people begging for him, and the explanation is he's very philanthropic. He's paying for orphans. So I don't know. My question is, does paying for orphans, does it justify your stealing an amount of money? Because it's actually, maybe we've not thought about this enough. It's actually the most effective way to steal, to be a kind of Robin Hood figure.
Exactly.
You steal 1 billion. Out of that 1 billion, you didn't work for it anyway. You dedicate 200 million
to
give to your local community. And they will love you. And then you keep 800 million for yourself. And those people within your community will defend you with their very lives. So it's almost like it's the best shield against corruption and against prosecution.
You even hear Stanley, you hear arguments like, oh, the man is corrupt. They say, yes, but he's investing the money in Nigeria. He's employing people in Nigeria. It's better than those who steal the money abroad. Stealing is stealing.
Our parents taught us, my mother taught me, it's not your money, it's not your money. We've just been joined by Bode Gbadebo. Bode is a seasoned journalist. Bode, it's great to have you here.
Yeah,
I guess you got caught up in traffic.
Yeah, I know, the cold again.
Yeah, well, we're about to open up the lines, but let me quickly get your take on the issue of minor son and the conviction that has been held by the appeal court, and also maybe if you can squeeze in a comment about the Babakir endorsement of Peter Obi.
All right, I think let me start with Babakir, because while driving here, I had a discussion. I was still listening to Season FM from the car. There is a new development about Babakir, as reported by leadership this morning, which I sent to you. Now, members of the group have actually disowned Babakir. Yes. It was a late night.
So this is the latest development. This is breaking.
Yes, not really late night statement.
Late night statement.
Yes, yes, saying, well, the group, as it is called, Northern Christian Leaders in APC. Yes, they have done all their due diligence. They've reached a conclusion, but it has not been communicated to the public yet, because they all agreed that there would be the appropriate time and venue to relay this decision of theirs to the public. And nobody among them, including Babakir Lawal, who is the chairman of the group, has been mandated to tell the public. So what he has done so far, as of yesterday, about Peter Obi, they said remains his personal opinion. Yes.
Well, that's an interesting place to leave that conversation. But the lines are open now. This is Citizen FM 93.7. You are listening to the Super Citizen at Sunrise. I am here with Lawrence Umwete and also with Bode Gbadebo. We're looking at the major stories that have been making the headlines. Now, if you want to join in, feel free to do so. You can call 0903 2229 797 or 0808 22 22 205. And you could also reach us on 0808 22 22 037, and we'd be happy to get your views. We have a caller here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Stanley and who's here. I greet all of you.
All right, thank you very much. I think this is Michael from Nasarawa.
Exactly.
Oh, fantastic.
Very, very quickly. The Babakir Lawal. Stanley, I have not seen anything wrong if a Babakir can come out openly and decided to support whoever he wants to support. Because the man is a grief, you understand? Don't forget, when he was the person, shouting on top of the voice, don't use, a Christian or Muslim. And the man are just a kind of, it's trying to a kind of say the way he feels. And I don't think that anybody can even speak against what he has just did, because don't forget, all of them belong to APC, but APC, they are APC, don't use the Muslim, and they refuse. So for Babakir coming out and speaking about millions of people, other people also who does not have opportunity to speak, you understand? I believe I'm following him. And at the end of the day, even when the other people finally conclude, or whoever they want to support, but this one that this man has said cannot be retracted.
Okay, Michael, hold on. Let me just keep you for a second and to ask you one thing.
Yes.
Do you not think that we are applying double standards? Because I've heard on so many platforms and so many fora, Nigerians say, oh, we're so tired of anything. What we want is to make Nigeria work. We want meritocracy. You cannot ask for meritocracy on the one hand and then insist on affirmative action on the other hand.
Well, in that regard, I can also tell you that the God is a God of justice and equity and fairness. You understand? So if God can make the rain to fall for the just and unjust, well, forget about it.
Okay. All right, Michael. Thank you very much for that intervention.
Hello?
We have another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, this is friend.
Yes, it is. Could you tell me your name, where you're calling from?
My name is Mohammed Yaro. I'm calling from Karo.
Okay, please go ahead, Mohammed.
Please, there's one thing about me about this petition. The former secretary to the federation, as of this point today, he makes a statement that he's going to support Africa. Why today now is PTP? Is he confused? Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let us have a stand. If you are supporting one group, let us support one group. Not to say you from here to here, from here to here. It's very bad.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for that point of view. I guess he's questioning. Well, a lot of people have been wondering, Bode, about exactly where this splinter group is going to throw its support to. But let's also listen to this caller. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Okay, I think we lost that call, Bode. Sorry to interrupt you again. We have quite a lot of calls coming in right now.
About where they will get their support from.
Yeah, that's right. Hello, good morning. Okay, could you tell us your name, where you're calling from?
This is Mr. David.
Mr. David?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. David, could you try calling us again because for some... Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Stanley, I want to ask you.
Yes.
Does endorsement give guarantee for an election, for winning an election?
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
It doesn't?
Not at all.
What I want to say about Babashir Lawal endorsement, I want them to fund their own G5 for APC. And they should come in block, they should come in group and give Peter Obi a block vote. That is what we want. So that Peter Obi can win this election. That is what I want. They should come together, form a group, and give Peter Obi a block vote in the north, so that he can pull ahead for winning this election. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Well, I'm not even certain that the G5 of the PDP has agreed to give Peter Obi any support whatsoever. They may yet decide to give their support to the APC. Who knows? Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program. Could you tell us your name, where you're calling from?
This is Godwin Abuja calling from Malawa.
Okay, Godwin, please feel free to call me Stanley. Bode is also here.
Okay, I greet you, Mr. Bode, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome. Let me go the headline that talks about Babakir Lawal, former SSG. I think I want to liken him to the G5 in PDP who are calling in for or fighting in for inclusivity, fairness, and justice in their own party. You see, Babachir we cannot align him aside for taking a stand. It's his own opinion. You see, Nigeria from the beginning has been, politically, we have always have president, vice president from the two most pronounced religions, Christian and Muslims, up to the incumbent regime under President Muhammadu Buhari. He is a Muslim. The vice president is a Christian. And so a particular political party coming with a stand, Muslim, I think is uncalled for. It's coming out of our own culture. That's why you see most of them coming out to kick against it. Not that they are against their party or those running for a political position, but the composition is just what they are standing on. And so I will align with Babakir for his decision. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Bode. Right before that call,
yes,
I had interrupted
you asked earlier about where they're going to get their support from. You know, I don't know how to start. Let me just comment briefly. Most of these are fights. Politically speaking, they are not justified. Like the caller just said that the Barbership Group, the Northern Christian leaders in APC, are like the G5 or
the
now
PDP.
the Integrity Group in the APC. They are all aggrieved over certain party decisions. For the PDP, it is, the national chairman cannot come from the same zone or the same part of the country as the presidential candidate, which to me is inconsequential.
So both of these
the candidate is not holding any office. He's only aspiring to hold office, and you know you know what that means. You know the implication. It can be positive if he wins the election, or negative, might lose. So you can see it's inconsequential. Then for the northern Christian leaders in the APC, personally, yes, you will feel slighted that your religion is not being considered. Your religion is being, trampled upon, or, personally speaking, yes. But politically speaking, it's not
inconsequential.
Honestly speaking. And
it's irrelevant.
The APC has maintained one thing, that they are out to win the election. And the only winning strategy in this present circumstance is to have a Tinubu from the southwest and a Kashim Shettima from the northeast. That's the only thing that will guarantee them victory. And what is the aim of a political party?
To win an election.
To capture power. So for them, that is it. Thank God, we have multiple political parties. So if Party A is not working for you, if Party A is against your belief, you have Party B, C, D, E, F, and so on. We have 18 political parties. So all this drama.
So then, what would be the objective of the Babachir Lawal?
Talking
group?
about their political support base, I don't know. Because I'm not aware if Babachir has ever contested election before, whether he has followers or not. But then they say, no, there are people who align with their objective, that there are Christians who are not happy with the APC, and those Christians will certainly vote against the APC. So we can only keep our fingers crossed. And like I just told you when I walked into the studio, that there is a new development, as reported by the leadership newspaper this morning. That's our banner headline, that some of the group members have disowned his position. And somebody called earlier saying, Shebi Babachir said 2 days ago that he will be supporting Atiku, and yesterday, Thursday, he said Peter will be again. I'm not sure that's not true. I listened to his interview in Hausa on, I think, a VOA Hausa service. He was only citing instances that if it's about religion or regionalism, after all, he's from Adamawa, Atiku is from Adamawa. He didn't say
that he was supporting
Atiku. But as of yesterday, he came out openly to say Peter would be their choice.
All right, we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Stanley.
Thank you. Could I know who I'm speaking with and where you're calling from?
This is Philip.
Okay, Philip. Where are you calling from this morning?
In
New Karu. All right, please go ahead, Philip.
Yeah, I just want to comment on the Babachir Lawal issue that these people are talking about. Yeah, if you look at right from the beginning, Buhari, APC actually choose a pastor, the running man. The way you look at Sheikh Christian earlier, they did not vote for APC. They call it APC Boko Haram party. The second tenure, it happened, the same thing happened. Christian was busy calling APC Boko Haram party. He was working against APC. Even as pastor is the vice president in APC, they did not consider that. So to me, APC have done wonderfully right. APC would be a fool to now choose another Christian again as a running mate. If a pastor is there, they cannot vote. Is it any other ordinary Christian that they can vote? So they should stop talking about it. They have got it for themselves. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much for that intervention. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Tony.
All right. Sorry, could you tell me who I'm speaking with and where you're calling from?
IT calling.
Okay, IT. Where are you calling from this morning?
I'm calling from Guarimpa.
Guarimpa. Please go ahead.
Bode, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Babachir Lawal, the APC Muslim ticket to her. I am never a fan of the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo.
Never, even when he was the president of the country. But I'm beginning to realize the fact that what we have not seen then, Obasanjo was warning Nigerians is exactly what is happening. I hope Nigeria will not turn to Tigray. Nigeria will not turn to Ethiopia. Where a particular section of the country has been ruling for the past 28 years. Because now, Obasanjo said earlier that this government wanted to colonize and Islamize Nigeria. And that is the situation presently is tilting towards that. Abuja, Northerner, Southerner, the same ticket, at the same faith. I am a Muslim as I'm talking to you. But Muslim will never ever take it from any of the political parties to have Christian faith. They will never.
Yeah, but here's the question.
So all these issues, give me time 1 minute. All these issues of this meeting can and the rest of them. As long as a Muslim is a Christian going to meet the ulamas and whatever, they will have the crisis in this country.
Okay. Okay. Let me come here with this perspective. It's up to the electorate to decide. And
I understand. But I'm
so
trying to retrace what Obasanjo said. This is a way of atheists to Islamize and colonize Nigeria.
no, that's your.
I'm quoting Obasanjo.
Okay, this is your. I don't think that quote is right.
You should not bring religion into the whole thing. You should not bring ethnicity into the whole thing. But look at what is happening in atheism.
All right.
People that struggled for atheism in 2015 were disappointed. I was disappointed in Buhari's government. Even 2019 up until now. Disappointment all the time.
Okay, well, thank you.
On the issue of Nina, I believe before this government will leave office, Mr. President will take his prerogative of nothing to Nina and his son.
Well, thank you very much. Well, we cannot preempt what the president is going to do. When will that happen? But again, when you are talking about same faith ticket, it is really up to the electorate to decide. It's not you can't take it that
we are even the architects of our own problems. We are not actually maximizing the benefits of a multiple political parties we have. We have choices. There is latitude for you to choose, but we are fixated on APC,
and basically,
PDP.
Bode, I think what this means is that Bola Tinubu has considered other factors beyond religion in his choice of a candidate, and the fact that he and his running mate happen to practice the same faith was just incidental. He was looking at his best chances of winning the election.
The APC has maintained that that's the only winning formula, strategy. Even the Babachi Lawa engineer, former IGF, said no, Tinubu.
But the law also allows that if you do not want a same faith ticket, you have other choices.
18 political parties.
All right.
18 political parties.
All right. Well, lines are still open. I think we still have a few more minutes. 0903 22 29 797, 0818 22 22 205, and 0808 22 22 037. Please feel free to also send us messages on WhatsApp. Yes, we accept those too, and we would share your views with everyone in question. We have a call here, so let's take that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, please go ahead, but first tell us your name, where you're calling from.
I'm Shagun. I'm calling from Karu.
Okay, Shagun, please go ahead.
I want to talk about the issue of the Bashir. Well, as much as I don't want us to start talking about religion in this country. Who has religion helped in this country? That's the first question. He is a Christian. He was secretary to the federal government. He was accused of cutting grass, of embezzling public funds. Does that show him as a good Christian?
No, he has been discharged
and acquitted of those charges.
So he's not guilty of those allegations.
Well, at least the fact remains that he was accused.
The accusation.
No, he was accused.
Yes, he was charged to court. Is it the point I'm making here is this? As a Christian, if you want to be a good Christian, you must live above God. Those people who are calling themselves Christian today, they are just Christian by name, not in Christian by action. That's the thing. If you are a Christian by action, you should not discriminate. Christ does not teach us to discriminate about anybody.
I won't, because I would like to respect everybody's sensitivities.
Yes.
And it's clear that religion is very important to us in Nigeria. And you can tell by the way on Fridays and Sundays.
It is because we want to make it, it is because we are trying to play it off.
Okay. Yeah.
The point I'm making
is
when people are going up, we don't differentiate between Christian and Muslim. I'm a Yoruba person.
Yeah.
I come from the Southwest. In my family, I have Christians and Muslims there. My cousins are Muslims. You understand?
Absolutely.
So we don't play it off.
But I have a question for you.
Sorry?
I have a question for you, just, to make my point about respecting people's sensitivities. When you have someone, because yes, I agree with you, growing up, maybe it was not played up, but Nigeria went through and perhaps because of the economic hardships, we went through a religious awakening sometime in the mid-80s to the mid-90s. And during that period, that decade, religion all of a sudden went from, or let me not say religion, but religiosity, went from 0 to 8 on our consideration scale, and it dominates our consciousness. So it's hard to see in Nigeria, sometimes even when we discuss issues, it's very rare. You will always hear somebody will say, well, the Bible says, or the Quran says. So religion is important to us as a people, and much as I am someone who is more of who believes more in meritocracy, I cannot overrule that millions and millions in this country consider religion as important and want religious inclusion. Oh dear. Well, sorry about that. I think I ran out his credit. Apologies for that. All right.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to the program. Tell us your name, where you're calling from. Okay, Emeka, please go ahead.
Calling from Chabi.
Okay, great.
Very good. You see, in Nigeria today, anybody telling you that religion does not matter, the person is not being fair to himself.
Exactly.
The reason is this. Anywhere you go today in Nigeria, major dominant factor in terms of religion is Christianity and Islam. Now, if you want to talk of leadership, and you take two people who are maybe two Christians, or you take two Muslims and put in a position of leadership, how would they make decisions bordering on the other part of the religion? They will become so insensitive concerning those other parts, because they will not know what happens in the other part. You may think, oh, we have ministers. No, but if they, let's say for instance, they bring up a bill, say, those going to Jerusalem, we should approve $4,000 for them for pilgrimage. The other man will look at it, what are you going to do in Jerusalem? If these ones are now Christians that are ruling, and they say those going to Mecca, they should bring it. In his mind, they will say, what are they going to do in Mecca? So the fact is, there should be a religious balance. As long as we are in Nigeria, there is need for religious balance. Anybody that is thinking religion doesn't matter, the person is deadly defending it because he feels that thing is what is going to favor him. Bring out your guy in the studio there. Let us really discuss on this matter. He thinks he's going to benefit from that way. That's why he is promoting the same faith. It doesn't matter. When the things are down, he will know that it matters. We are Nigerians. We are not here yet where we are liberal people. Nigerians by characteristics are yet to become liberalized, so that we can say religion doesn't matter. Even in America, religion matters. Even in Saudi Arabia, religion matters. Okay, can you go to Saudi Arabia and just raise up class and say you want to build a church?
Okay. We have
religion matters.
We are running out of time. Yeah. So all right. Thank you very much for that point of view. But I do get the point.
Yeah. I do this get last the point. Caller, even though I don't know whether I was referring to me or Mr. Mote, who was there earlier, about say the guy in the studio said religion does not matter.
No, I don't think that he heard properly.
This is the problem we have in Nigeria. I have discovered over time that people jump into the arena to comment on issues they don't understand. People comment on issues with emotions. Now, this is the issue. The APC, as the ruling party, 1 out of 18 political parties in Nigeria, registered political parties, says, see, this is our only winning strategy. Let's respect their decision. We have 17 other choices. That's one. Two, the problem with that is some of the apologists who have been defending the decision are the ones saying religion does not matter. It is merit. Instead of them to say, see, religion matters, we respect your sensibilities.
Yeah.
But in this circumstance, this is our only winning strategy.
Our winning strategy.
That's a cup of tea. That's the problem. We have other 17 choices, for God's sake. We should stop getting fixated on things that will hold us down.
All right, let me listen to Kennedy. Kennedy, good morning.
Good morning, Stanley. Good morning.
Where are you calling us from today, Kennedy?
Karu.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Anybody that says religion doesn't matter, I agree with the person in the studio there with you. Is actually speaking my mind. It doesn't matter if Peter Obi would have bring in a Christian or just like Tinubu has just done, bringing in Muslim ticket. It doesn't affect me. It's his choice. Now, I also have my own choice to decide who to vote.
Precisely. Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. But we should also understand that religion actually matter. But when it comes to politics, I don't look at it because if you check very well, I want you to tell me when Christian battle last in Nigeria. If you can answer that question, I will know that it doesn't matter. But we also have other choice. So in this case, it doesn't matter because I have a choice. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Yeah, Kennedy. Yeah, I think I like that perspective, and I think it's furtherance of your point, Bode. There are other choices, and the law does not prevent Bola Tinubu from making the choice that he did. He didn't break any laws by doing that. So it's a political
and the
choice.
agitation by the Babachir, Lawal and Co. is very, very good within their right to defend their religion. It's also okay.
It's down to the electorate to pass a judgment on what they want.
Nigerians, voters, we decide.
And that's, I think, the most important and critical point of that. Okay, well, it's an intense conversation, but I think it underscores that, Nigerians, we are a religious people, and we cannot deny that in our existence. But how we manage our religious differences, this is the major question.
I'll also tell you another takeaway.
All right, let me just quickly take this call. Okay, we lost that call. Apologies for that. I think we're pretty much even out of time for this, even though...
Another takeaway for me from the APC same-faith presidential ticket is the exposure. It exposed lack of acceptability of ourselves. And that's one of the issues Babachir is harping on. So the northern Christian does not have electoral value. What if I'm a member of the APC and you say APC is the ruling party and it has majority members or majority Nigerians as members to make it to win election, should it matter that the running mate, the presidential running mate, is a Christian? That's the question. He was asking that. So does it mean we don't matter? Why are the northern governors insisting that Tinubu should choose a Muslim running mate who has the political clout? If you truly love Tinubu,
on the other hand,
if you truly love Tinubu, why can't you pick anybody since it's Tinubu?
On the other hand, Bode, a lot of people are of the opinion that politics should have moved beyond that. That these are the sentiments that prevent us from moving forward.
Unfortunately, it will not move.
And we have to look at even justice and fairness and equity and all of that, and be focused on to what extent we can deliver that. Now, I do have to bring this conversation to a close.
Unfortunately, honestly, I don't like us deceiving ourselves.
Yeah.
You know why it will not move beyond this? A caller said one cogent reason earlier, saying, after all, when you go to offices, determinant factors, religion. Who are you? Where are you from? So long this fundamentals.
So there needs to be a self-investigation.
It's from the bottom.
Yeah. I will even tell you one thing concerning that. For me personally, I'm a very spiritual person, but I like to do my prayers at home or maybe in my private space before I come to work. So that when I come to work and I'm starting a meeting, I can go straight to what I'm supposed to do. But here in Nigeria, of course, then we have this. Okay, we have to pray before we start, and then you have to do a Christian prayer.
If
you have to do a Christian prayer, then you have to do a Muslim prayer.
For a balance.
You have to do. So it's the decision as to whether our religion is a personal journey and a personal relationship with our Creator, or if our religion is a political movement.
State policy.
And how we feel about all of these political things is where we stand on that. Whether we look at our religion as a personal relationship with God that edifies and benefits our life. And I think if we look at religion in that way, then we will be better people, because we will now be focused on the commandments that God gives as to how we should live our lives, that we should be just, that we should be truthful, that we should be kind, that we should be honest in all of our dealings. Being just means being fair and loving to everyone, whether or not that person belongs to your religion. Now, if we look at our religion as a political movement, then it is that, no, I want to use my religion as a power, as a force of power to force somebody who does not agree with me. And then the focus will now shift. Instead of it to be focused on me, my personal conduct and my honesty and my truthfulness, my justice, my sense of loyalty, it is now focused on theology, on, okay, the little snippets of my religion that disagrees with yours, and then we now get into a my religion is better than yours complex. And whether it's good to remember that God is supreme.
Sure.
And God does not practice religion. And all of us are subservient to him in one way or the other. And what he demands for us is that we love him and that we love each other.
Sure.
And I will leave that conversation on that
note.
note.
It's good to leave it on that note. It's a very sensitive matter.
All right. Well, we still have conversations to go. I can see that a lot of people want to call. We'll take a break, but when we come back, we'll be looking at that as well as other matters, including Nigeria's economic growth slowing down to about 2.25%. So don't go away. We will be right back.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Well, welcome back. This is Citizen FM 93.7, and you are listening to the Super Citizen at Sunrise. The time is 8:08. My name is Stanley Bentu, and I'm here with Bode Gbadebo, who's a seasoned journalist. And, well, we've been looking at some stories making the headlines, but it's time for our big talk. But today's Friday, so two things. The big talk is just about 30 minutes long, and it's also open mic day. So any of the things that you would like to talk about, please feel free to call us. I know quite a number of people have been wanting to call a little bit earlier, but we needed to go to break. But would be very happy to, listen to your views a little bit later on. Now, there are two things that we want to talk about. One of those is the Nigerian economy, and it's directly connected to brain drain, because right now we're in a Japa era. A lot of young Nigerians and older Nigerians are saying, well, they want to leave the country, pack their bags, and start life anew in another country. I do not share that view. I said on the 1st of October 2022, Nigeria is my country. I don't need a reason to love it other than the fact that it is all mine. That's one. And number two, that I simply don't feel that I can go to any other country and own it the way that I own Nigeria, without people looking at me as some sort of outsider. I mean, let's face it, currently I'm 50 years old, so I will never be as American as apple pie. That is not going to happen. But I can be as Nigerian as jollof rice. I can be as Nigerian as moi moi. I can be as Nigerian as it gets. So I'm concerned about our economy. Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 2.5% in the third quarter of 2022. The National Bureau of Statistics announced this in a report that was released yesterday. It said that oil production has also dropped averagely to 1.2 million barrels a day, and added that the sector only contributed 4.2% of the economy during this period. And this means that the economy is steadily relying on the non-oil sectors, which contributed about 94.3%. Now, there's more information. The report also said that the GDP reduced from 4.03 in the third quarter of 2021, and the slow growth is blamed on the recession and the challenging economic conditions that have hindered productive activities. So that's on the one hand. And then you have the Nigerian Medical Associations, the NMA, who is calling on the government to act fast to stop its members from migrating abroad, resulting in brain drain in the health sector. So the FCT chapter of the NMA has said said this and hinted that it was in talks with members to consider the service to their fatherland in the face of government's, what they consider to be government's nonchalant attitudes to their plights. So the public relations officer of the chapter, Dr. Muyiwa Komolafe, who spoke in a telephone interview with the Vanguard, said brain drain is not going to end anytime soon, because apparently, as it is, there's really no incentive to make people stay and serve in their country. So let's talk about those incentives. And I know the economy is one of those. And we have a big election coming up in 2023. Jobs, as a matter of fact, is one of the things we should be talking about more than anything, as opposed to a religion and whether somebody's from the north or from the south and any of that. Bode, what's your take?
Well, I think the statistics released yesterday by the NBS, National Bureau of Statistics, was self-explanatory, because it offered explanation as to why the GDP grew 2.2 compared to this same time, quarter 3, 2021, which was a little over 4%. So you can see, same time last year, it was a little over 4%. This year, is 2.2%. And it said, well, recession and harsh economic conditions, that are impeding productive economic activities are responsible. And you ask yourself, what are these reasons? What is recession? Are we still in recession? Is the government not telling us the truth about the real state of our economy?
But it also, it's connected to how we define what a recession is.
It is, okay.
And I had a debate on Twitter with, somebody who felt that he knew better. And, his definition of recession is the one that the government often gives, which is that when you have 2 quarters of growth, then you're in growth. When you have 2 quarters of, minus growth, then you're in a recession. That's an oversimplification. Yes, it is one of the indices, but apparently recession, I think there are about 5 indices, and one of those is job creation. If you're losing jobs, even if the total economic output is increasing, it still means that there's a problem in the economy. And there are several others. There's several indices that you use to
and I think it's also important we say it in a language that the ordinary man on the streets we understand. This big English,
instead of
people will not understand
25%.
They are real condition. Nobody will understand.
Over my head. I don't understand any of it. You tell me.
I'm not an economics too.
Prices of food in the market.
Something higher.
How many people have jobs? How much money do we have in the bank? How much money do we have reserved? How much are we borrowing? Are we earning enough to pay back what we borrow? To me, these are the tangible things, not the complex figures that these economists
let's talk about job. Government is one of the biggest employer of labor. Then aggregate, the private sector can be bigger than the government. The number they employ can be bigger than the number employed in the civil service. But then, why the people in the government civil service, are not losing their job? The people in the public sector are losing their job in droves on daily basis. And why? Companies, factories are closing shop. Why are they closing shops? Because of harsh environment, harsh economic conditions. They can no longer sustain production. And of course, in order not to incur debts in salary arrears, they tell you, thank you for our services, come and go home. We can no longer continue. Government is not looking into this. And you see them talking every day about the ease of doing business. So you ask, where is the ease of doing business? Where's the ease of doing business?
And it connects to, as I said, the brain drain situation with a lot of young people saying that they want to leave the country. And it's one thing, we're not talking about... Power. Okay.
Electricity. We don't have.
We're not talking about people who are maybe smuggling themselves across the Sahara and placing themselves in all kinds of peril.
When you talk about brain drain.
When you're talking about brain drain, you're talking about the cream of our society.
The skilled people going, not the ones just who want to go and enjoy life somewhere, running away from Nigeria without skill. And that's the danger. They get themselves into trouble, they die on the road, on the high sea, some get arrested at their destination point, and some get deported back to the country. Those ones unskilled. They just want to, as a status symbol, they want to let people know that they've traveled abroad. No.
So that's on the one hand.
The skilled people who deliberately and officially, through official, acceptable means, they want to live here and go to where their services will be appreciated more. The medical doctors, the engineers.
Yeah, and it ties
the educators.
It also ties in with the ASU situation. Because I've been looking at that and pondering with the 8 months. Look at it. This year really has not been a good year for tertiary education. It's gone.
So you look at 2023.
Because the problem isn't even completely solved. Because we're still going back and forth about the part payment that the federal government
know what does that tell you?
And then there are the monies that are supposed to be thrown in there. But I'm looking at, the fundamental solutions about solving financing for our education. And let me give the government the benefit of the doubt. Let's say we don't have all this money to invest in education. What sort of big conversation are we having about fundamentally changing how our education is funded to prevent our brains from leaving this country? Because maybe we haven't quantified the loss yet. Bode, think about this.
Well,
if you go to school in Nigeria and you go to a public school, like I did, I went to ABU. And I didn't pay anything as far as tuition is concerned. What a lot of Nigerians call tuition is just other fees. I was talking to a young student. I said, you don't pay tuition. They said, oh, we pay tuition. I said, look, if you are told how much your degree really costs, your tuition, you're probably talking about 2, 3, maybe even 4 million every semester. Am I wrong? This is how much, if you were to be slapped with a tuition fee, anywhere between 1.5 maybe to 3 million, depending on the prestige and quality of the school and the degree you're going to get. But that is not being paid. Not by the government says that, okay, it's providing this free, but to provide it free means you have to pay for it. It's not being
subsidized.
Paid. So it's just up in the air. But you're getting this free education, and it's Canada that is going to benefit from it, because once you get your degree, you start work, you're not happy, you're going to move on to Canada. You'll get the whatever visa that they reserve for geniuses. And so Nigerian institutions are educating doctors free of charge for Canada.
Go and deliver services elsewhere.
What in the world is happening here? And how do we address these problems?
Well, about 2 days ago or so, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbadebo, organized something they call Education Summit or something. I didn't follow it, or I saw the publicity that I was going to organize Education Summit, and I don't know what are the outcome or the resolution or communique, that emanated from that summit. But I think what we should be asking the government, like you rightly asked, is what are the concerted efforts? Since we don't have the needed amount of money to fund tertiary education as we speak, so what are the concerted efforts? A kind of a timeline, a plan to do it, let's say in the next 10 years or 20 years, a kind of a medium-term plan to actually take out tertiary education, from the pits and lift it up so that it will be attractive to all. Nobody will be interested to run away as an educator, as a lecturer. You don't want to run away to Canada or even Benin Republic here, where you can get millions of CFA francs. Now there is nothing like that. To the brain drain you talk about, if you ask me, I don't know who to ask about. Is there any effort, concerted effort, official plan by government to halt the drift, to actually stop this, brain drain? Oh, they will tell you, no, we are providing money to SMEs for people to create jobs. And you don't, when you ask, where are these things? You don't get to see them. You understand? So, because things are done for election purposes, people are given handouts to have the interest of the party in power at heart, so that when election comes, they will naturally vote for the party that handed them 5,000 naira to eat food, not the party that will give them the future.
Major challenge there. Well, we will go ahead and open up the lines. Let's open up the conversation. This is Citizen FM 93.7. You're listening to the Super Citizen at Sunrise, and this is the Big Talk segment of the program. The time is 8:21. You can join us. You can join Bode and I simply by calling 0903 22 29 797. Or 0818 22 22 205 or 0808 22 22 037. The question I'm asking now is, what do we need to do to prevent brain drain in Nigeria? How can we stop our doctors, our nurses, our engineers, our architects from leaving the country? What else what more do we have to do
well, for me,
in order to keep them here?
I have two, ideas immediately now. Number one, you have to create the jobs for them. They have to be engaged.
But a lot of them do have jobs.
They are not satisfied. But that is the basis. You have to create a job for them. They have to be engaged. Then, good working conditions. They have to be satisfied with the job. So it's a different thing to get a job. It's a different thing to be gainfully employed.
Is there a question of patriotism here, though?
Well, I don't.
Is it that we simply
I don't want to
believe?
Be unfair.
Is it that we simply believe that our country is not good enough? Because no, hear me out, Bode. If you are a Nigerian, imagine the information you consume every day. First of all, of course, you get to read about the kidnappings and the killings in the broader atmosphere. And yes, maybe the media is partly responsible for that. But then there is also the conversations in the social media space where you have people, freely talking down the country. In fact, trashing the country.
Of course.
And if you are a young child that grew up in this is all you've heard about your country. Isn't there an illusion that there is absolutely nothing good in Nigeria, and so therefore I'm justified to want to leave it even though I may not have a good reason to? Okay, well, we have a call that just came in. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, great to hear from you. Could you tell us your name, where you're calling from?
Yes, this is Mr. David calling you from Kwantagora, Niger State.
Hey, Mr. David, good morning. Great to hear from you.
Yes, how are you people doing? I miss Abuja.
Oh, dear.
I'm not around, that is why you have not heard my voice.
Ato, okay. You know what they say, buy bread, come.
Sir?
I said buy bread when you're coming.
Okay, I will buy.
All right.
The law.
Oh, the law just left here. Yes, he has to prepare for the bulletin at the top of the hour.
Okay, now my regards to him. You people are doing a great job. God bless you people. Bye.
Okay. Thank you very much, and do have a safe trip coming back, Mr. David. The lines are still open, 0903 22 29 797 and 0818 22 22 205 and 0808 22 22 037. Don't forget that you can also send us WhatsApp messages. Bode, you were saying?
Yeah,
right
I was going to say something about patriotism. I don't want to be unfair to anyone. Patriotism, yes, is in the heart, and you can also see it by what you are displaying. But then it's not true to say that there is nothing good about Nigeria. It's a very, very wrong statement.
Yeah, but how often do you see that on social media?
Oh, of course, it's every day. And I'm not surprised, because when you go to developed countries, even where there is milk and honey, there are still dissidents. People who are still castigating the government in power. Most of these Arab countries, where they don't need to work, they get automatic job, free homes, because of oil money. There are still dissidents among them. There are still people who still castigate government, let alone Nigeria, where you don't have these opportunities. So it's an innate thing. It's the nature of the man. A man is like that. He's not always satisfied, no matter what you do for him. You understand? So that's normal. But then, I think we should be patriotic enough to say this is good. And whenever there is correction, we should also be bold enough to say, oh, this is, not too okay. There is a need for improvement. But you can't be a complete pessimist. You can't completely be a pessimist that every day nothing is good about the country. So when you talk about patriotism, whether these people are not patriotic enough, they are thinking about their pockets alone. That is why they are not okay with Nigerian system. They want to go to other countries where they make money. Well, we need to interrogate their state of mind. Is it true that they are being motivated by money to go there? Or, oh, no, they don't want to die in service. They don't want to die in penury. They want to be useful to themselves.
And contribute to
yes, and their country. So they want to go to a saner climate where you have the ideal environment.
I actually detest that term. I don't believe that I don't believe that there's any climb that is saner. I mean, once upon a time, when we talk about saner climes, United States would be one of the first. But we saw what happened in Capitol Hill. And for all of our issues...
What has followed it?
No, but, sorry, but just hear me out. For all of our issues in Nigeria, we have not had a riffraff enter the office of the speaker and throw the speaker of the House of Representatives and throw his feet on the desk.
We have seen people invading the Allo chamber of the Senate, taking away the mess.
Yeah, but we've not had that kind of
and nothing happened.
Insurrection.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. The capital invasion you are talking about, the U.S. Congress is still talking about it, investigating, recommending culprit for punishment.
Yeah, but
even
it shows
has not been left
it shows that
as we speak.
Yeah,
Trump,
but it shows that these countries have their own fair share of issues. During the midterm elections in the U.S., what did they say? Democracy is on the ballot. Over 200 years of democracy, and you say democracy is on the ballot. They don't have it figured out. They don't. We get the impression they have it figured out.
No one is perfect,
and so that's it.
Don't believe one climb is saner than the other.
There is no climb saner than the other. We have a unique set of challenges. Just like whether it's Russia or Ukraine, every country has its unique set of challenges.
Of course.
So the question is, how can we dig deep and try to face the challenges that we have? Do we get to a point where we feel we're just tired of questioning the authorities? Because I've heard people say, I don't want to talk on radio anymore because I'm just tired or nothing is changing. But in a democracy, I've learned that things do not change overnight.
Yeah, it's a process.
It's a process.
A function of time.
It's also the reason why the politicians that we claim are holding our country to ransom are more successful than the idealistic politicians. Exactly. Because they are more tenacious. They hang in there. We have, and I don't want to call them, but and maybe
the good ones easily give up.
But maybe I'll just even go ahead and call them. We do have, quasi politicians like Patu Tome, who come, maybe even Kingsley Moghalu. Every 4 years they come out and say, "Oh, third force." But in the intervening period, they do nothing politically. They comment in their professional fields, but they do not. But you can rest assured that throughout these 4 years, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been working. Whether it's in front of the camera, behind as a full-time politician. He's been in the game since 1999. He never went out of the game. He's been at it. Atiku Abubakar has been at it. So the tenacity that we see in some of these politicians that we criticize so much, we've not seen so much tenacity in our idealists. They get, so there's that weariness. I don't want to get in this. I don't want to get dirty, so I'm just going to leave this.
And they want to take Nigeria back.
Can the country really be fixed that way?
No, it won't. You can't recover Nigeria. You can't take Nigeria back when you are a part-time, player on the political scene. Because that's the vehicle to get you into office to effect any change. But if you appear only in 4 years, then you'll be drop off at any point. But when you are behind the wheel steering, then you are the player. You can determine where you go, where the vehicle will go, because you are the driver. So we need to rethink a lot of things. Number one, at the bottom line, patriotism. You say so. It's very, very important. We have to be patriotic as Nigerians. And for me, I also think we need to rethink our leadership recruitment process. A lot of wrong persons are at the ends of affairs as we speak today. And that has been impeding Nigeria's development. Wrong people. Just because they have the money, they are full-time politicians, they have all the connections to seize power and be in power. So we have to get involved actively. I don't need to be a politician to get involved. There are other means, to get involved and effect a change. So a lot of things needed to be reworked to actually get this country back to the path of development so that we can be at par with other developing countries among the Committee of Nations.
All right. So, Bode, just in rounding off, can you tell us 3 practical steps that we can take to prevent brain drain?
Good. I think I've mentioned them. Maybe I don't know whether it was rather passively. We need to get job for people. It can be government job, it can be public sector job. But it's not enough getting job for people. People must be gainfully employed. When they are gainfully employed, they don't think about anything else, any other society, going elsewhere. You know why? This is your ancestral home. You want to be with your people, happy. So you don't think about going to Canada, US. But then you can think about going on vacation as a status symbol, so that people will know that you have arrived. I want to go to US for 1 month on vacation. I want to go to Canada. Okay. I want to go to Burj Khalifa in the UAE.
Step 2, then. What's the second thing we need to do?
Good. We must fight corruption. Corruption is 1. We must observe the rule of law. things must be working in tandems with the dictates of the law. When there is justice, equity, and fairness, I don't have anything to fear. I don't have anything to lose. Then I'll stay back at home.
And
some people are running for their life, you know.
And number 3, the final thing.
We need to, I also mentioned it, let's rethink our leadership recruitment process. The right people must be at the end of affair. People who understand, people who appreciate the dignity of labor. That's why ASU is having this challenge. It underscores the kind of premium the Buhari administration is placing on education, which is near zero. I didn't say zero. I didn't say zero. Near zero. And that is why people are dissatisfied. Look at what we have in the tertiary education sector. That tells you what will be at the primary and secondary sector. And people are dissatisfied. They say, oh, this is not too good. Let me go to where I'll be appreciated more. They run away.
It's interesting. Thank you very much, Bode. I think those are interesting things to think about. We need to be more productive, which is the only way we're going to get jobs. But then we also need to make better choices as electorates.
Exactly.
Come 2023,
the right people must be at the helm of affairs.
All of the luck. I'm very grateful, Bode, that you took time to come here to talk with me about this. Thank you to also everyone else who contributed to making this program successful. I would like to thank my producer, Destiny. Thanks to Lawrence Umoite. Thank you also to our engineers, to Michelia. And thank you to each and every one of you who called in to share your views. And thank you to everyone who listened to this program. This is Stanley Bentu signing off and looking forward to a wonderful weekend. Have a lovely day, Abuja, wherever you are.